Hey folks, welcome to Hyper FB Traffic. Now in this video, I want to take you through the steps you need to follow in order to properly identify your target market. Now if you remember from the course itself, before you can even think about setting up your Facebook profile, any fan pages, or even advertise on Facebook, you need to properly identify who it is that you want to market to on Facebook. Okay, so for the purposes of these videos, the series of videos I'm going to take you through here, we're going to use the pet niche as the target market that we want to follow. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've researched some of the different offers that are being made to people in the pet niche. One of the offers is a PetZoom pet park. Another is Petapause, which is to declaw and denail pets. Another is called Shed Ender, and then a fourth is a product that's available on ClickBank. It used to be called Sit Stay Fetch, but goes by a different name now. But it's basically a dog obedience training video series and PDF report. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone to Quantcast.com and I've just entered in each of the domains for those offers. So as you can see, this is the demographics for the buypetapause.com site. These are the demographics for Shedender, and then these are the demographics for the Sit Stay Fetch, which is the domain is kingdomofpets.com. Okay, so let's just take a quick look here. What you need to do is just very quickly look at the results that you get. So for PetZoom Pet Park, I see right away that there's a mix between males and females, broken up 51%, 49%, so it's pretty even. There is more of a prevalence for young adults, so people between the ages of 18 and 49. This particular site, it does receive more traffic from people of an African American ethnicity than would be normally expected. Now, this does not mean that most of the traffic comes from people of an African American ethnicity. This is one of the sections of Quantcast that you need to pay attention to. As you can see, 75% of the traffic comes from people who have a Caucasian ethnicity. Only 10% of the total come from African American. Another 10% of the total come from the Hispanic communities. But given a normal website, these two ethnicities visit this site more often than would be expected. So an average index here would be 100. Anything above 100 means that you have more people from that background than would be expected visiting this website. Okay, so please don't confuse it to think that this means that this site is visited mostly by people of an African American ethnicity when you're looking at the raw numbers. So when you're looking at, let's say this website gets 1,000 visitors, 750 of them are going to be Caucasian, 100 of them are going to be African American, 100 of them are going to be Hispanic, 40 of them are going to be Asian, and another 10 are going to be of another ethnicity. Okay, so that's how it breaks down, and that's how you have to look at this sort of information. It's also important to note the number of children, the affluency, and the education level of people who are interested in these offers. Not so much the level of affluency, but definitely the education level. That is an option that you do have available for targeting with your Facebook ads. So it's something that you should pay attention to. Okay, so you can see it's very easy just to go over this information to take a quick look at the demographics behind these offers. The reason why I wanted to look at all 4 different offers is just to see whether or not there is a pattern. So for buypetapause, there is a slightly more female visitors who come to this site. The age range is a little bit more to the middle-aged end of things and going into the 50-plus market. This particular site does not see as many African American, Asian, or Hispanic visitors as the other offer did. This site as well does have normally people who have 0 to 2 children in the household visiting it. Once again, that is based on an internet average. So you have to look at, this right here. There are actually more people who do not have kids aged 0 to 2 visiting this site than there are people that do have them. The difference is that on a general basis, this website experiences an abnormal amount of people from that demographic sample. So, of all the people who visit this website, those who have kids aged 0 to 2 visit this website more often than would be expected. Okay, you'd expect that on average this number would be 100. Okay, that would mean that given the internet as a whole, people who have kids aged 0 to 2 do not visit this website more often than they visit others. When the number here in the index column is higher than 100, what that tells you is that there are people in this category who visit this website more than would be expected. Okay, so given an average website, so say Google, for example. Okay, so the Google index would be 100 for here. In this case, people who have kids 0 to 2, they visit this website more often than would be expected, so that's why you see a higher number here. Now, when you take into account the fact that this is the demographic information for a site called Bipedipause, it kind of makes sense. You can see a correlation between people who have young kids and have pets who do not want the pets to damage their furniture, to scratch their young children, and things of that nature. So as a result, they're looking for a solution. Okay, so when you think of things that way, it does kind of make sense. But like I said, you really have to look at the information and understand how this information is being presented to you by Quantcast. Okay, so we can go through and we can see once again the level of affluency and as well the level of education of people who are interested in this Bipedipause site. Going forward to ShedEnder, this is a product that helps with shedding for pets. Once again, there is a slightly higher prevalence of females visiting this website. The demographics skew to the older crowd as well, very much so in terms of the 50 plus market. The 35 to 49 to 50 plus market makes up just about 2/3 of the traffic to this website. Okay, so that's something that you can definitely use later on down the line when you're looking at who you're gonna target on Facebook, how you're gonna market these offers, and who you're gonna target when you're advertising through Facebook ads. Okay, so once again, we have no kids in the household. It doesn't look like, it looks like most of them have no kids, which makes sense because if they are an older group of people who are visiting this website, although they may have had kids at one point, the children are no longer in the household. Okay, once again, these people are a little on the less affluent side, but they are college graduates. Now, when I look at the Kingdom of Pets site, please note that this is not specifically for the dog obedience training offer. This is for the Kingdom of Pets website as a whole. So once again, we show females who are older, who are Caucasian, who do not have kids in the household, and then there's a mix here once again between people who are affluent and whether or not they have college or do not. So right away you can see that there is some consistency here between these four different offers. There is a mix between whether or not they're college graduates or they're affluent, but there is a lot of similarity in the fact that most of them do not have kids in the household. They are of a Caucasian ethnicity. They are more generally females rather than males, and they tend to be of the older demographic, so usually ages 35 and older. Okay, so you can see that that's once again verified by the Bipedipause.com offer. Now, the mix between males and females for the PetZoom Pet Park is a little bit closer, and it does tend a little bit more to a younger demographic. But you can see there are some similarities as well. There is still a heavy amount of visitors from a Caucasian ethnicity. Okay, so right away we can tell that if we're going to target someone who is interested in these sort of pet offers, we want to look at someone who's female, between the ages of 35 and over, a Caucasian ethnicity with no kids in the household. They would either be usually less affluent to sort of middle income in terms of affluency, and then basically it's a split between whether or not they have college or not. Makes sense because someone who's in an older demographic, someone who's say 40 years old or 50 years plus, it wasn't as common as it is now for them to have a college education, so that makes sense as well. Okay, now this is really just the first stepping stone that you're going to use to answer all the different questions that you have to answer about your target market. This sort of information gives you a view into that, but you're going to have to use other things. You're going to have to visit the websites themselves, look over who it is that those offers are speaking to. You can visit forums and other things like that, because some of the information or some of the questions, you need to ask go above and beyond just the demographics themselves. Okay, so you need to have an idea of who your ideal customer or client is. You need to have an idea of what their hopes or their dreams are, as well as what their biggest fears are. You have to have an idea of why do they need the offer that you're making available to them. What is it? What problem will this offer solve for them, as well as which results they hope to achieve as a result of using the offer. Okay, now in this case, I'll just answer those questions with respect to this shed ender offer. Now, obviously, the fears or the concerns, the hopes and the dreams that someone who is interested in this shed ender offer has is they obviously have problems with shedding with their animal, with their pet. They hope that through the use of this product they'll be able to end those problems. They don't want the mess of having the fur on themselves. They want it to be clean. They want to be able to, and they don't want it to be harmful to the animal as well. So using shed ender will help them with that. So that's basically, that also helps you understand why they need the offer. So the excess hair that's being taken off of the animal, either through them combing the animal with another brush, or just in the natural progress of the animal shedding their coat, it obviously causes a mess. It causes problems when people come over to visit and having to spend the extra time to clean up the house and things like that. So you can start to have an idea of what are the problems, what are the issues with this person who is interested in getting this product. Okay, now once you have an idea of the problem and the situation that they're in, then you can start looking at the results. So what sort of results is this offer going to give them? In the case of shed ender, this product is going to end the issues that they have with having the cat or the dog hair all over the place. It's going to give them a way to easily, painlessly remove this excess fur from their animals without all of the mess. So they'll spend a few minutes every day or a few minutes every week. They'll use the product to comb the animal, remove the excess fur, and then not have all the issues that they're currently having. Okay, so you would obviously do the same sort of exercise, the same sort of brainstorming exercise with the PetZoom Pet Park, with the Buy Petapause, and then as well with the Kingdom of Pets, the dog obedience training, or any of the other offers that are made at kingdomofpets.com. They actually have probably about 6 or 7 or 8 different offers that they make. Some are targeted towards dogs, others are towards cats. Okay, so now that you have an idea of who your target market is, you can then move on to the next step in the process.